What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Here today to bring you a video on Senior Bowl MVP Spencer Rattler. Here to talk about his time in college, the Senior Bowl, and also how he translates to the NFL, and also some possible fits. So let's get into it, guys. Before I go further in this video, I want to shout out Spencer Rattler. Just off the field, just as a man, as a young man, as a person. You know, we've seen us, me, the listeners, everyone. We've all seen men, women, boys, or girls that have crumbled under pressure. Whether it be on the field, off the field, in our personal lives, business, whatever. We've seen people crumble under pressure of being in that position, being the one, being the leader. And, he had his hardships. Obviously, the maturity issues, the cockiness, all that stuff in QB1, going to OU, had a good first year there, then struggled second year. Then Caleb took over in that massive comeback win game, which was epic. And his time there was cut short after that. Then he transferred, went to South Carolina last 2 years and played well. And now he's here, Senior Bowl MVP. And outside of any other player, some other players, Lad McConkey, all those other guys, Thrash, the Robinson kid from Missouri, the cornerback from Toledo, all those guys, Mitchell. He's the only quarterback, in my opinion, who raised his stock up. Like, Penix was well. He was voted the national team starting quarterback and played well and all that good stuff. Nix was okay, but he was a name all week at the Senior Bowl camp. All week. All you heard was how impressive he is, how mature he is, and also poise. Poise is the main thing. He's improved on his poise. He's improved on his decision making. Let's talk about it, guys. I've seen almost every interview he's done at camp, for most of these guys as well, not just him. Trying to just pick apart things, trying to look at practices and stuff, seeing what everyone says, and everyone that I could really find has said everything positive about Spencer Rattler. Nothing bad. He looked good, uh, distributed the ball pretty well, good throws, and that's the thing about Rattler. He's one of the most confusing, not confusing, but one of the more weird prospects. He's not here or so low because of his skills. He's so low because of what happened years ago from QB1 and from his fallout at OU. He's not here because it's based mainly on skill. He's one of the better ones. Me myself, I'm not too big on Bo Nix. I'm not too big on McCarthy, but looking at Rattler's game, he has all the tools, all the skill sets, the talent, everything. Only thing with him, the biggest question were maturity and decision making. And obviously the maturity thing was probably the biggest thing, as far as everything, like I said, QB1, all that stuff. But, that seems to be solved. His time at OU was a disaster towards the end, but we haven't heard anything negative come from South Carolina since he's been there. Everyone raved about him, teammates, coaches, fans, so it's like, and hearing him speak now in interviews, and one really caught my eye he did a couple days ago during the Senior Bowl week. He spoke about what he would change if he was 17 again. And the main thing he said was, without doing it verbatim, was, I wish I was more humble. I would tell myself to be as humble as possible. Don't be the cocky, D-head I was back then. Stay humble, trust your teammates, and do your job. And that's the biggest thing most people have to learn. It may not be in sports, but in life in general. Trust people around you. Do your job. Don't think you know it all. And people as young folks think we know it all, even as adults. And I'm 28 years old now, and I think I know it all in some moments, in some situations in life where I probably don't. So it's hard that we. It's also funny and hard that we come down on young kids doing that, and we shame him from that for when he was a high schooler all the way up to now. We harken back on that like he was a grown man. So it's funny how we seem to judge people in that shouldn't be judged so harshly in certain spots. But I understand the quarterback spot, and the quarterbacks are raised to be different, and he was definitely an outlier as far as the cockiness goes, because some of the greats aren't even that cocky. So, but overall, man, he looked well through the Senior Bowl, looked well in the first year South Carolina. Second year, not so much. Injuries happened. O-line wasn't as good. The receivers around them wasn't talented as much as they were the prior year. Juice Wells got hurt as well. So, the second year wasn't a total success like the first year was, but he definitely played well both years. Came to the Senior Bowl and just dominated. Best quarterback there. Really showed improved. I think him and Penix were clearly 1 and 2. 1A, 1B, whatever you want to do it. But I think Spencer Rattler definitely earned a lot of people's respect and their attention to go back and watch the tape. Even back to high school, he always had the talent. There was no question. He always had the talent, always had the play. Just the maturity thing really rubbed people the wrong way. And I understand that now. And I definitely understand why that was. But as far as future NFL fits, a lot of teams on social media, well, not teams, but a lot of fans of teams are now wanting him. The Giants wanting him, maybe third rounder to, maybe succeed Daniel Jones in the next year or two, because the Giants do have an out on Daniel Jones, I think, after next year's contract. They eat some damn money, obviously, but they could bring in a second, third round guy, and he can probably take over Daniel Jones' spot if he doesn't pan out this next year. There's probably a prove year for Daniel Jones. You see teams, fans of teams like the Vikings, who are in a weird spot now with Kirk Cousins. Will he play for the Vikings? Will he not? Will he come to my Falcons, Steelers, Raiders, Patriots? The list goes on. The teams that could use Kirk Cousins. So what happened was that, even if they bring back Kirk for a 2-year deal worth $90 million, $95 million, they still could draft Rattler, third round, fourth round. Fourth round might be a little stretch now. Maybe second or third round now. Grab Rattler and have him be your quarterback of the future. Steelers the same way. Pickett could be on a prove-it deal. Use his services. Might not be a starter right away, but he could be definitely in line to be a starter or, a bridge-style quarterback. Or like a tryout. How my Falcons did Desmond Ritter. Tryout year last year, then we'll see this year. We'll upgrade if we can't. We'll roll with you. If not, then you'll be the backup or be traded off somewhere. So, but I think Rattler, has a chance to definitely make some noise, definitely make a big splash. Geno Smith and the Seahawks. I did a video on him about a month ago saying, the Seahawks now in a weird spot with the new head coach now, but during the time they had no head coach. And the thing was, what's going on with Geno? Will they keep him? Got a year or two left on his deal. Will they keep him? Will they move him? Will they want to start fresh? Or will they draft someone, sit for a year or two, then bring him up to start? And Rattler would be also a good spot there for him to sit behind Geno, learn behind a true professional, someone else who I'm proud of. Him and Baker Mayfield both guys who had rough starts, rough patches, a very long rough patch for Geno. I think Baker had a very rough patch as well last couple years. But now he's bounced back, about to make $40 million a year. So those guys are definitely blueprints for Rattler to look at. But like he's already done well himself. He's bounced back on his own already. He had his time to recover and heal and learn and to reflect, and he's done a great job. So, but there's a bunch of teams that need Rattler. A good young backup who has potential to possibly lead the team one day in the near future. And like I said, Steelers, Vikings, Patriots, maybe depends on what happens with them. Raiders, Seahawks. So we'll see where it goes. But I definitely, like I said, I'm proud of him. He showed poise. He showed leadership. He's shown good ball placement and ball distribution throughout the whole Senior Bowl process and most of his time at South Carolina. In the last 2 years, we're going to really pinpoint and see what he did there. The OU days, I'm over with. 3-4 years ago now, 2020, 2021. We can't keep harking back on those. It is what it is. He's shown and proved that he's not that player anymore. He's improved as a player and also as a young man as well. 23 going on 24, and he's showing every sign of being a mature person. So we gotta let that go now. It's over with, and that time was that time. He's definitely shown improved now. So we want to see where he goes in the draft. People call him still a draft already. I'm not quite there, and even if he is, or people deem him that, I want to find my own still of the draft. I don't want to just go to him, but he is probably the most worthy of that title right now, but I'm gonna find my own steal of the draft and make a video on it how I did last year. I think last year my steal of the draft was Israel Abanaconda from Pitt, the running back there who went to the Jets. So yeah, that was my guy last year for steal of the draft. Also highlighted Brian Burns, Jameer Gibbs, guys, not Brian Burns, Brian Branch from Bama. Him and Gibbs were one of my favorite guys as well. So, I'm going to find some guys this year. I want to go Tez Walker, but he's been trashed at the Senior Bowl. He's been trashed at the Senior Bowl, so we'll see. We'll see at what he does at the Combine. But as of right now, Rattler definitely is impressing, and he's been impressive since leaving OU. The 2 years at Carolina, he's been very, very good and playing pretty well. So, but that's it for video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time.